Every story about Nokia says they were too slow, too blind, too comfortable. That story is wrong. In 2007, Nokia controlled 40% of every mobile phone sold on Earth, more than Apple and every Android manufacturer combined. Nokia didn't just own the market. Nokia was the market. Symbian, Nokia's operating system, wasn't the clunky legacy software history remembers it as. By 2007, it ran on hundreds of device models across dozens of carriers worldwide. That is a distribution moat Apple could not touch. Nokia's board didn't fear Apple in 2007. They feared carriers switching loyalty. Nokia owned the shelf. Every major telecom in Europe and Asia stocked Nokia first. By 2009, Nokia's engineers were already building a touchscreen native operating system called MeeGo. The talent existed. The roadmap existed. Nokia could see exactly where this was going. What they chose to do with that knowledge is the whole story. This was the company Anssi Vanjoki, Nokia's executive vice president, had spent his career building. Every price point, every carrier, every corner of the globe. An industrial machine that had won by being everywhere at once. He believed the platform could compete. The board was about to rout around him. In September 2010, Nokia's board hired Stephen Elop from Microsoft, the first outside CEO in the company's history. Frame this correctly, this was not desperation. This was a deliberate signal. The board wanted someone who would not protect the Symbian asset. The margin math the board was running was rational. Symbian phones were profitable. But as Android proliferated for free, maintaining Symbian's software stack required rising R&D spend with shrinking per unit returns. The board modeled a future where margins compressed every quarter. 2007, 40% market share. 2008, Android launches free. 2009, MeeGo exists, underfunded. 2010, Microsoft's man is hired as CEO. Every single one of these is a choice. Not a market force. A choice. Anssi Vanjoki resigned the same month Elop arrived. The internal coalition that might have fought for the platform was gone. On February 8, 2011, an internal memo arrived in Nokia employees' inboxes. Elop called it a burning platform. The operative logic, the company, is standing on a flaming oil rig. The only rational choice is to jump. The memo was not a diagnosis. It was a permission structure, making abandonment feel like survival. Inside Nokia, engineers who had spent years on MeeGo read the memo and understood the decision had already been made. The memo wasn't asking for buy-in, it was notifying them of the outcome. On February 11, 2011, Nokia's board approved the announcement. Windows Phone would be the primary OS. Symbian and MeeGo abandoned. A single vote on a single date. Not a drift, not a trend, a decision. What the board received in exchange, Microsoft would bear OS development costs. Margins could stabilize. Quarterly earnings would look cleaner in the transition year. The incentive logic was complete. In November 2011, the first Lumia smartphones launched. Reviewers noted the hardware was beautiful. The ecosystem, apps, developer support, consumer familiarity was nearly empty. Windows Phone had under 3% of the global market. Nokia had traded a platform with 40% of the world for a partner whose own platform couldn't crack 3. There was no version of this math that worked. From 40% to 3. While pivoting to Windows Phone, Nokia maintained massive manufacturing commitments to feature phones, commitments that couldn't be unwound quickly. The write-offs compounded the revenue collapse. The machine that had made Nokia dominant was now eating the money Nokia needed to compete. At the 2013 shareholder meeting, Elop said, "Read it again." We didn't do anything wrong. He meant it. September 3rd, 2013, Microsoft acquires Nokia's mobile division. In 2007, Nokia's market cap exceeded $100 billion. $5.44 billion is what a winning platform is worth when the incentives that built it are pointed the wrong direction. Here is the thing that makes this story genuinely dangerous. The Nokia board was not wrong about the margin math. Symbian's cost structure was a real problem. MeeGo was behind schedule. The quarterly pressure was real. Every individual decision had a rational justification, and together they produced a catastrophe. When institutional incentives reward protecting this quarter's margins over defending next decade's position, self-sabotage becomes the rational choice. And the board will vote for it with full information. That is the innovator's dilemma fused with perverse incentive design. The company doesn't fail to see the threat. It correctly calculates that fighting the threat is more expensive than exiting the market. Watch Intel in 2024 through 2026. Sitting on a fabrication empire and a legacy margin structure, while ARM and custom silicon erode the market Intel defined. The board's incentives still point toward defending the fab business, even as the platform shifts underneath it. It is not that they are slow. It is that the cost of pivoting threatens the very margins that justify the current stock price. Nokia's story is not a cautionary tale about slow companies. It is a cautionary tale about rational ones. Next, Intel still runs the world's most advanced fabs, so why does every new chip that matters get built somewhere else? Subscribe. It's next.